What's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Chaz Opinions. My name is Chaz, and as always, these are my opinions. So, today, this post is not, I don't want to say it's about Pokemon Go, but it's certainly inspired by it. So, if you haven't heard about Pokemon Go, then that is not my fault. It is all over the internet. Take 2 seconds to Google it if you're one of the 7 people who hasn't heard about this yet. But that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is the potential extrapolations and ramifications down the road that could result from this technology and from this app. So Pokemon Go, you've got your what they're calling augmented reality, which is, projecting an image on a phone screen or something else that also has a camera, so that you're displaying an image over top of reality. That is, to my way of thinking, the first step towards virtual reality. So, you take it a step further from the phone to what's going to be the Google Glasses. Those are coming out soon. And then, you're watching augmented reality often. And then, of course, you extrapolate that a little further to the point where they can actually put a full virtual reality headset on you and, imitate actual reality. Oh, my nose is itchy. So, the next step from that is, of course, pretty much the Matrix, right? That once you go past just virtual reality, just being able to project an image, then you add in the sounds, and you take the technology of simply displaying it in front of the eyes to the point where it actually interfaces with your brain, whether that's through a wireless electronic signal or through an actual jack in the back of your neck, like in the movie The Matrix. But the real question that I started to ask myself when I went down this train of thought is, if the Matrix were real, if there were, say, a company, next week, who invented the technology, and they were making an offer to the public where you could be plugged into the Matrix and you could lead kind of the type of life that you want in your version of their reality. Like, let's say you wanted to be rich, or you wanted to be famous, or whatever you wanted. Basically, like the same offer that the computers or the robots made to the character Cypher in the movie The Matrix, where they plugged him back in and he ratted out his friends. I feel like if there was a company that was making that offer to the public, saying, plug into the Matrix, we'll give you a good life in the Matrix in the way that you want, and in return, you never get to leave the Matrix, and we get to harvest your body's energy for the rest of your life. I think there would be a stampede of people who couldn't wait to plug into the Matrix just to escape their shitty fucking life. That's what I think would happen. I think there's so many people who are, they're dissatisfied with their lives right now, which you can see why in this world there are a lot of people who feel that. And there's a lot of people who are really almost obsessed, with virtual reality, with video games, with any form of escapism, anything. This often translates into drug use as well. The type of mindset where you're trying to completely distance yourself from your actual daily life. I think there's so much of that feeling in our society and in other societies around the world that I think that there wouldn't even be a war. It wouldn't even be like the movie. There would be people lining up to get in on this thing. That's what I think would happen. And what that says about my way of thinking, or maybe what it says about everybody else, or about the state of the world as it is, it's a little disturbing. I don't know if people are going to agree with me here or disagree with me. But I also read an interesting quote. I think it was I can't remember who it was from. It was on Facebook about talking about the book 1984, which was also made into a movie. And in 1984, if you don't know, it posits a potential dystopian future whereby the government is watching your every move. That's where the term Big Brother comes from, referring to the government. and they watch you through your TV. And the quote that I read was saying that when George Orwell, the author, wrote 1984, he never could have guessed that when it did come true, that our greatest fear would be that nobody was watching. And that struck a chord with me, because I think that's true. We're, constantly posting, about what we're doing. We post like where we went, who we saw, what we ate, everything about our lives up on Facebook, just in hopes that somebody will actually be watching. And that's what I've always said about that potential specific dystopian future, is that the surveillance state, there's just not enough people to actually watch what all the other people are doing. So it was just an interesting, I think it all ties in with what I was talking about, that a lot of the authors and the people in the past who predicted, our future, and sometimes in a very negative way, I think they never could have predicted this particular future, this particular reality, where so many of the things that were predicted are true, but in such a contrary, twisted way. The fact that we do live in a surveillance state, but there's just not enough sets of eyes to watch. There's more people providing surveillance openly of themselves than there are people who care to watch it. Like, I'm recording this video. I've got, I think, about 300 friends on Facebook. I'd be surprised if 30 or 40 of you actually see it. And that's being generous. I'd be surprised if 3 or 4 of you actually watch this entire video. And some people might see it on YouTube, but I just think it's a fucked up thing about our reality. And it's the same thing that I think there's so much discord, so much unhappiness, that if something like the Matrix were to come along, people would just... I've seen the response from Pokemon Go. I think it's almost like a microcosm to show us what could happen potentially if people have the opportunity to just completely, detach themselves from reality in favor of a reality that they consider to be better. I think they would want to do it in a heartbeat. That's why so many people do drugs, and that's why so many people like to play video games and exist in these immersive alternate realities. In a way, social media is part of that as well. And there's very involved games like World of Warcraft and League of Legends that just are so immersive for people. But Pokemon Go, it takes it to a whole new level, to the point where you're actually merging your reality with your video game rather than escaping it. But I think they all lead to the same place. I think that that's a place that, while disturbing, is a place that mankind is almost desperate to go. Probably going to record a follow-up video on this. I want to talk about how it relates to the very popular theory that's been going around about that we could actually be living in a computer simulation. That ties in with the Mandela effect, which, again, is something you can Google if you haven't heard about. And it ties in with, the Matrix and the theory about living in a computer simulation or alternate reality. So I have some more thoughts on this, but my voice, as you can hear, is kind of starting to go out on me. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. I think I've delved into a little bit more deeper subject matter than I usually do here, but hopefully some people watch the video, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, comments, opinions, maybe even make a response video if you're feeling particularly extroverted. So again, thank you very much for watching. This has been another episode of Chaz Opinions. See ya.